To everyone. Yep, we're back with another vid, and yeah, we've had the climax drop on Tuesday. Um, yeah, we're still running. I love the climax mission. It's so great. The mastery is, it's good. It's something a bit fresh, but it's not. You know, I sort of expected more, but yeah, it's sort of what I expected. But we will be running some helping streams, I think, tonight and throughout the week. I think whenever we can, basically. So it's there. But what you can get from running the mastery the first time is a guaranteed drop of this exotic here, the Provocator. And you can get it dropped at any difficulty. It's just a bit of a lower chance on the lower difficulties. But what is it? Let's have a look. It is comes with an armor core, armor regen, Hasbro, and the talent challenger. Receive plus 25% damage resistant from enemies within 20 meters. Obviously, that was sort of nerfed from the original conception, which was I think like 35% within 15 meters, and obviously it's different in PvP. But long story short, guys, it's crap. It's not usable. Well, you can use it, but if you think it's actually doing your build any benefit, I think that's copium, basically. But all right. So, like the pros and cons. Right, pros first. Let's say pros. Well, it looks nice. I think it is a nice looking exotic. The mission to get it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I think I've covered it all really. The cons are plentiful. Unfortunately, and I say this really unfortunately because I want it to be good. I have tried it on many builds, but the drawbacks are just so pronounced. Basically, you know, it's a chess piece. You're having to give up so much to run this chest in the first place. A proper talent. You're giving up reds. Like there's better talents to have than this. Unbreakable, obliterate, glass cannon, chain killer. Like literally, or like Vanguard for Christ's sake. If we're thinking like tank builds to run this on, like you can look at this two ways. Like I'm going to run this damage resist on a tank build sort of thing, or I'm going to do it on a DPS build. Okay, your skill builds are sort of out of it because you're either going to use, I don't know, glass cannon and be hiding in cover anyway. Damage resist doesn't really come into it really on a skill build because you're building into that sort of theme of playing the game. But on like a tank build, you've got like, let's just say you're running Foundry or you're running, say, Aegis or something and building into that damage resist. This ain't really going to help you none, really. Let's be honest. Like, you're going to be running Vanguard, you're going to be running Tardy, you're going to be running Unbreakable. You could run the Aegis chest piece and boost up the gear set talent of that. Like Versatile, it's there. Like, already, you're giving all that up. And or like, if you wanted that sort of theme of damage reduction or more tankiness, on the backpacks, you've already got like Adrenaline Rush, you've got Bloodsucker, you could run the Memento and have everything. I've mentioned Tardy and Unbreakable, but also, like, forget backpacks, builds, whatever. This takes an exotic slot. So you can't use Memento, you can't use Coyote, you can't use Catharsis. Like those three I know we've got other exotics, but there's like those three are the sort of main three if we're talking like really good builds, better meta builds. Like if we're talking PvP or PvE, like PvP, it's got to be something good for somebody to take a Catharsis on because that heal, that damage increase is just so good, and that's good in PvE as well. If you're thinking tank builds, like I can't, all like those builds on YouTube which say invincible build, it's got a Catharsis on because it just covers all your slots basically. Or Memento because that's got armor, weapon, skill efficiency. It's got the regen. It's got the bonus armor. all those things, So, but and I'm just thinking like damage resist, right? It's such a weird thing to have as an exotic talent. Because like if you want damage resistance, you could, and I know it's like it's phrased slightly different in game, but it's effectively the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but to me, and Joe Blogs player, it's going to be exactly the same. Is like literally, where is it? Drone, right? Defender drone. You got on a tier 1, you've got 5% damage reduction. You can see their expertise. I've got 14. That's an extra 14% damage reduction. That's even just at tier 1. Tier 2 it goes up, tier 3, and I know it's different stats PvE, PvP, but straight off the rip there, right? What you see there, I've got 19% damage reduction, and that's from all ranges. So not about the 20 meters shit. I know the drone only lasts like for 24 seconds on this, but if we're in a battle with an ad right in front of us, 24 seconds is a fucking eternity. When you think 7 shots from an ad standing in front of you can put you down. If you're on if you're on a red build, for instance, if you're on a tank build, if you're just standing there, of course, like if you've got foundry and stuff on. But what the point is, that chest ain't going to make a difference. Like that sort of drone really won't make a difference. But that's the point as well, is it doesn't really make a difference. I think I've covered all the things I wanted to say. Like, it covers the, it covers the talent. The drone, it covers the talent of this exotic. It doesn't take your chest slot. It doesn't take your exotic slot. It doesn't compromise your build. And it covers all the ranges. So you could just use a defender drone for what is an exotic chest. Or even, let's just play it this way. I know this isn't damage resist, but the decoy is so underrated and it is OP. In a fashion, the decoy is 100% damage resist. In a fashion. Not literally, obviously. But you throw your decoy out, the ads won't be shooting you. And it lasts for 22 seconds. All you got to do is look at the gameplay of like the recent mastery mission. Decoys. Perfect. But yeah, and you still got your build, and you still got your chest piece, you still got the exotic that you want. I seriously think, like, and this has just been me ranting, basically, so apologies, but I think the exotic has missed a trick. The devs have missed a trick. Like, we've got this mastery mission, and it's the end of the season after 16 weeks of like doing the scouts to go get it. And this exotic's locked behind it. It doesn't have a blueprint, so we can't re-roll, like recalibrate. I know we can optimize and stuff, but this would have been a perfect opportunity. Like, we're given a drought of content. I know they're working on things, and they can only give us so much, but they've given us this mastery mission. They've locked this exotic behind it. You've got to do 16 weeks worth of scout missions, and we got to go complete the mission on mastery for 100% drop, or just keep running it on the lower difficulties. This was a perfect opportunity to, like, they could have made this exotic completely random rolls. Like, you could run it one time, get the exotic drop, and it be a blue core with skill damage and hazard protection. Or it could, the golden ticket would be you running it and it drops with a red core and crit chance and crit damage. Like, what that would have done is made that content, I mean, it's repeatable anyway, but there would have been a purpose for people to keep running that mission, because they would have farmed for the roles that they wanted. Given that there isn't a blueprint for it, people couldn't just cheese that at the crafting bench. So, and then and think about it, if we had a red core and crit chance, crit damage, it still wouldn't be the best exotic, but you wouldn't be giving so much up to run it. It would still be adding that to your crit chance, crit damage stats. So you wouldn't be sacrificing those. So it would have become less of a burden in your build. I do think, though, that the talent needs a buff. If it's staying like the way it is, like 50% damage resist, I don't think that in PvE, I do not think that would be overpowered whatsoever. Because if we think about glass cannon, like on the other end of things, we get that. What is it? Glass cannon. Let's have a little look. We've got I think we've got the perfect one here somewhere. Sacrifice. I know this is perfect, but likening it to, like, we've got amplified damage by 30% and all damage you take is amplified by 60%. Right, if you run that and it's common, people go, oh, glass cannon, I'll die too quickly. If you're standing in front of an ad, you'll die in, without glass cannon on a red build, you'll die in like 5 shots, say. Like, amplified damage by 6%, like you'll die in 7 shots. If you amplify that damage by 60%, you're dying in like 5 shots. It's like the percentages wise look massive, but in actual reality, in terms of damage taken from ads, it's like 2 or 3 bullets. So, like, you know, if we're talking damage resist in the same sort of frame of mind, like even 50% is going to be giving you an extra, you know, 3 or 4 shots on the norm of your build. So it isn't going to be OP, I don't think, but that would actually make it maybe usable and just take the distancing out. Like within 20 meters of it, you know, like most of the things you fight in this game are 20 meters and above. You don't realize it because you're just in the thick of it. But I think we realize it more after the season we've just had with the modifiers we've just had, how much like of what we're fighting is in that red zone on our gun. You know, and none of that is getting any benefit from this exotic. So yeah, you know, at current, it's unfortunate to say, like, I've got it here. Like, I've got more from running a Memento and just running some PFE mods, which are already in the game. You know, I do think like this exotic is the best thing you can do is at current is deconstruct it and use the exotic component to expertise something you actually use. Because yeah, that's about it really. So sorry for the rant, but I see a lot of content at the moment of like it's the new meta piece or whatever, and like, you know, I want to be. I'm a positive guy, and this is generally positive. Like, we've got so much shit in the game now after 6 years. I bet it must be hard to create an exotic nowadays, but you know, it's not very good, and I don't see it being used. It's not adding the benefit, really, is it? So, but yeah, that's it from me. We'll be live tonight running some climax missions, helping people out with the mastery. But yeah, like and subscribe. Join us. Stick around. Let's see what we have to offer. But yeah, thanks for checking me out. I'll see you next time. Cheers.